Hello there, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to a new series of Crusader Kings III. It's taken me a little while to get around to getting this series started, but got there in the end, and because I didn't get to continue on with my stream that I started of this game, I'm going to be basically playing the same campaign that I started off in that stream, because I did make a few mistakes, and you know, I'm by no means perfect at Crusader Kings, any of them. They are not my most familiar of strategy games. I'm much better at things like EU4 and things like that. So what we're going to do, it was the Iberia in Pieces. It was the Iberia in Pieces campaign, and we started off as King Alfonso. It says easy, and I actually don't think it is. I mean, all the others are like medium and hard. But yeah, that's where we're going to go. We're just going to have a quick look at the game rules here. I just want to make sure that nudity is on to never, just for, you know, streaming and YouTubes and all that stuff. So, yeah, we are the Middle Sun. Our brothers own the provinces or the territories either side of us. Let's just jump straight in. And then we can see what we have to deal with. Now, it might be a little bit different from the game that I originally started in the stream when this first came out, for a couple of reasons. One, there is a certain random element to these games. Even if you restart the same campaign from the beginning, there's a certain amount of randomness that can change things. And also, there have been a couple of updates since I did that stream, so some things have been rebalanced and changed, and so on and so forth. So, let's start off with the fact that we are not married. Let's just have a quick look at our stats here at our ruler, if you're unfamiliar with him. So, our King Alfonso VI here, we have 6 in diplomacy, 5 in martial, so, you know, poor, 6 in stewardship, also poor, and 7 in learning, also poor. So, we're pretty terrible at everything, apart from intrigue, where we have 21. And we are excellent, because we are calm, we're deceitful, we're cynical, and we are an elusive shadow. So that's what we should be doing. We should be focusing on the fact that we have a high intrigue. That is what our initial gameplay is going to be based around. So let's go ahead and make sure that we get ourselves a wife. So ideally we want to find somebody, maybe someone who has a few higher skills in other things. Maybe we want to try and find somebody who is a higher rank, like a queen or a princess or something like that. Is this just looking in our... Yeah, we don't want to be looking just inside our own realm. Let's look at alliance power, actually. So you are by alliance power. The Duke William II. You're just a courtier. Daughter of Duke William II. Do we not have any sort of princesses in here at all? This is a big long list, so we're not going to go down all of them. Let's say if we have a look at maybe some skill. Got some good high diplomacy ones here. Good high martial. I think ideally, though... And what have we got here? Unmarried, courtier. You don't like me all that much. You're also French. But getting an alliance with France could be useful. I mean, this would give us a potential alliance with Normandy. Normandy is a good alliance to get. Let's go with that, then. So, yeah, we will arrange a marriage with you and myself. Why do I never get this to work right? I always get left click and right click mixed up. Right, there we go. Send proposal. It's because you have to click on the character's details rather than on the portrait. So that's the marriage arranged. Lifestyle, we are going to go intrigue. I mean, there's no point going anything else. We've already got intrigue. And we've already got some things down here in the seducer line. Although, I think last time I did this was in torturer or schemer. Like I said, there is a certain random element to that. extra intrigue plus some dread. Not too bothered about the whole seduction thing. Agent acceptance and extra intrigue. I think that is well worth it for what we're going to be doing, because this is how we're going to need to start this campaign off. So our biggest issue here is there are essentially 3 kingdoms. We've got Galicia, León, and Castile. So we are the king of León. To the east, we have the kingdom of Castile, and that is actually owned by our brother, by our older brother. And because he's the older brother and we're the next brother in line, we're his younger brother, if he were to die, we would be his heir. And then over to the west of us, we have our younger brother, who is the king of Galicia. And also at the moment, we are his heir as well. So ideally, what we'd like to try and do is kill both of these guys off, and that gives us the potential to grab both of those kingdoms. It's really hard to go to war in this particular campaign because, one, our marshal is absolutely terrible, and secondly, because these guys usually end up getting allied with France. We're going to take a quick look at the council here, because these guys usually end up in the wrong place. Like, for example, our Chancellor has a diplomacy of 2. 2 is absolutely terrible. This guy actually is terrible across the board, to be fair. It's not even worth putting him anywhere. His highest skill is intrigue, which is only 8, and our spy master, which is our sister, has an intrigue of 17. So as much as it's going to upset this guy, he's going to have to go. We need to replace him with somebody. Before we do that, let's have a look at these guys. So you've got a marshal of 12. 12 is your highest skill. You've got a diplomacy of 12. So you'd be better off as our Chancellor than you are as the Steward, because you're a better Chancellor. So let's go ahead and put Baron Fruella here. So you're going to move there. So we haven't fired this guy yet, so he's going to be upset if we fire him. We are going to have to fire him. So 12's not great, Marshal. Yeah, for stewardship, that's pretty terrible. We need somebody better. We've got a mayor here with a stewardship of 14. You don't really like me. You are upset because you're not on the council. You're only 16. Your Midas touched. Sure, let's go and make you the steward. The other guy's not going to like as much. He is actually only minus 17 now, so that works out quite nicely. So that's about as well as we can hope to do here for now. So that's the council setup. So now we need to think about trying to kill off one of these guys. In fact, let's actually wait until our marriage goes through. So we'll unpause the game. We'll get our marriage. Is that now gone through? Yep, so we're now married. Now that we're married, we actually have the queen on the council, and we gain a little bit of her skill. So we can just get a straight up bonus in one particular thing. Now bear in mind, she doesn't really give us a lot of intrigue here, because her intrigue is actually quite low. It's her lowest skill. But we do get a percentage. It's usually half of each of their other skills. Or we can just have them on assist, which gives us, I think it's, there is some percentage to work it out. Is it just 15% or something like that? So we'd get one intrigue either way, so we might as well keep her on assist, and we'll have a little bit of everything. So it's only one extra power. So who do we want to kill off first? So you're not married, and you're not married. Ideally, what we want to do is kill off whichever one's going to get married first, because we want him to die before he gets an heir. But it doesn't look like either of them is going to die. So let's have a quick look and see what the chances of a murder scheme are. So there's only a 10% chance so far on the King of Castile. What about on the King of Galicia? That was a complete misclick there. You want your liege. If we murder you, 94% chance. Yes. Let's go ahead and start that scheme. We could, if we wanted to, go ahead and move our sister there to support schemes. Be assigned to support schemes. Do I not have to put you in any specific place? No. So I just have to put you on support scheme. So that should actually increase that scheme even more now. So if we look at intrigue, some 95%. I really don't think we need to invite anybody else to do that. So one thing that you may or may not know about this particular campaign is that our sister is actually our love interest. Your sister, spymaster, and vassal. She is a dishonourable zealot. She's unmarried. But if we actually go ahead and look in intrigue and we look under hooks and secrets, these are our secrets known to me. Your lover, adultery, is our sister and spymaster. So, yeah, we're incestuous with our sister. Passionate interests. I am playing absent-mindedly with my pet, Infanta Aracas. That doesn't make any sense. I am playing absent-mindedly with my pet, Infanta Aracas. Her head resting against my chest as I tell her about the various poisons and their application. She is an excellent listener, encouraging me with gentle hums and nods and asking thoughtful questions. The way she truly cares about a topic is so close to my heart, it makes me all warm inside. Alfonso, I think I love you. You're a very good listener. Did you know that? So, we can have her become our soulmate, which I don't think is going to be ideal, or we can gain 500 lifestyle intrigue. Lifestyle experience. Let's go for that one. We have a call to war already. We have a wedding celebration. And we have things to do here. So with my marriage, we can collect a tithe of 75 gold, or we can gain 350 prestige. Normally I'd take the prestige, but I think actually we're going to take the gold so we can start upgrading a few things. And we have a call to war from Normandy against England. We're going to accept. So we can click on the war down here and we can see who is against whom. So we're going to be going to war against England in this. I think if we'd have had ourselves selected, England should have been in red. Not too sure why that didn't show up. But anyway, so we're at war with England. So we can go and try and help them out with that. There probably isn't an awful lot else to do right now. We do have a little bit of money. I would have originally spent that on something like upgrading a building. But I think because we're about to go to war, and this is actually going to cost us a little bit of money, we'll deal with that. We've got some issues here that we need to do. We're not endorsed by our archbishop. Can't do too much about that. The realm will lose land when vassal dies. That's because our sister holds land, and when she dies, it will go to the primary heir, which is the older brother. But if we kill him off at some point, that's not going to be a problem. We can create some titles, but we can't afford it. We're not bothered about declaring wars because we're too weak. Powerful vassals expect council positions. They always do. We're in line to inherit some titles, so this is definitely why we want to start killing these people off. Once we've killed off these two brothers, we'll inherit all of these titles. So yeah, we could also negotiate some alliances. We could get an alliance with Navarra, which might be worth it. Let's get in an alliance with Navarra, just because it could potentially... I mean, eventually we will want to grab Navarra, but, you know, we can keep allied with them while we're dealing with some of the Muslim nations down here in South Iberia. So, now the army has been raised. Let's get over here. It does cost us a little bit to get out to sea, unfortunately. There is an embarkation cost involved. But we're going to go over here and see if we can help Normandy out with this. And we've got our alliance with Navarra. So this is the Norman conquest of England. These guys have got a lot of troops up here. So what I intend to do is not get too heavily involved with the fighting, but just see if I can capture a few provinces, a few counties, because that will essentially, you know, give us some money and prestige. I would be lying if I said it was not a little pleasing to see the way Infanta Araka, I never get these names right, squirmed when I let her know what I knew. Taking me aside in private, my sister wants to know what she can do about it. A little gold goes a long way. So she pays us some gold and we gain some intrigue. She pays me gold. Right, okay. Or she can gain opinion of me. What is her opinion of me? Plus 47 anyway. Or do nothing and gain dread and she gets stress. So do I want 10 dread? Do I want her to have a higher opinion of me? I'm going to take the gold. Gold was something that I didn't used to value as highly in Crusader Kings II. It was always better to take something like prestige or opinion and stuff like that, but now just having gold seems a lot better to build armies. We are unpaused. It just takes a long while for armies to get anywhere. So we don't have to build transports anymore. We are actually losing a little bit of money now. That's because we've got armies at sea, so we're taking attrition. So we'll get over there. Not too sure where England's army is. This is usually where you do have to be careful when sieging out England. Let's have a quick look on the intrigue. So we're 7 months away from our first attempt at killing him off. Let's go in and drop in to South Devon. It's a little bit tricky here because it's really hard to see where the AI's army is coming from, particularly because of all the forests. Now, for some reason, the AI annoyingly does like to target the player. I'm not sure whether it comes after me because I've got the smaller army, or whether it comes after me because I am the player and it tends to leave. There he comes. You see, we actually saw him coming in, so we can get out of there. At least we should be able to get out of there. So it is going to cost us a little bit of money to embark. Amazing how they've managed to catch up with us. That is truly remarkable that they managed to do that, and then we're pretty much going to lose the entire army at this point because can't really escape. I mean, realistically, how long does it take you to get on a boat? They had to cross through 2 counties. And now we are retreating all the way to South Wales. So that could have been better. Murder, itching for a distraction. The man in charge of cleaning the clothes of King Garcia's guards is brought to me. No one will notice him tampering with their clothes. And if something distracting for the guards could be planted, what would you have of me, Lord? So there's a 95% chance of secrecy, which is so 95 is always the max. It's never a 100% success chance. I want you to grind those rose hips really fine. It's going to cost us 50 gold. Or cut holes in their clothes in improper areas. Let's spend the gold. These guys hopefully get out of there. Are they going to follow us, or are they going to... I mean, we do have a little bit of a speed advantage because we're broken. So we are going to hopefully go back out to sea. We'll leave them there for a little while, just to see if they recuperate. Sinful Archbishop exposed. So Catholicism's further decreased. Okay, that's fine. Allied combatants captured. Allied combatants slain. And another ally joins the war. Okay, so are you guys going to... you're not going to gain any more anyway. So let's get you back at sea. We can actually see what's going on here now. We can see where their armies are. So this gives us a bit of an opportunity. The time has come. My agents are in place. One of them will pay the assassin the very night the deed will happen. Another will ensure the wall is unguarded. And the third will leave a subtle trail of candles to the king's bedchamber. Everything is in place. Well, might as well do it. See what happens. It seems to have been difficult to get the king by himself, but once the assassin finally did, he was not long for this world. I have covered my tracks well, and if anyone suspects me for being behind the attack, no one dares say it out loud. I do love surprise visits. Okay, let's quickly pause up then. So we've got a couple of things that have now happened here. So first of all, who did we kill? We killed you. However, it didn't come to us. Interesting. No, it is come to us. What's happened here? Why did this go to the older brother? That shouldn't have happened. It's gone to me. Okay, so we need to kill off the older brother. No two ways about it. There's a 50% chance of it working now. We'll start that scheme off. We need to kill him off to get both of these, because both of these are now Castile. I sort of did them in the wrong order, and I've just made him stronger. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can invite more people to this. Most people will refuse. It's mostly because of base reluctance. Yeah, it doesn't like there's anyone here who could even be sort of coerced or anything. -30. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll leave it a little while to bake, because some things might change. And in the meantime, we'll just go back to focusing on these battles over here. Now, their armies do seem to be busy. Those guys look fairly evenly matched. Normandy are bringing in some reinforcements, so I don't think they're going to get there in time. So let's go in and see if we can grab Tintagel, where you will find Merlin's Cave and the seat of King Arthur. Available perks, okay. Fabricate hook scheme. So is any of these going to help us find secrets? I know obviously we've got to go down them in order, but I'm just trying to check down the list. So murder scheme power plus 30%. Yeah, so we want to go on for this so we can go down to there basically as soon as possible. Murder secret tunnel. Oh, this is really good actually. 95%, 95% chance. Something's really increased here. My agent Duke Nuno approaches me with a bunch of parchment clutched in his hands. I found an old architectural sketches of the king's castle. They might be a bit outdated, but look here. Murder scheme gains progress. Sure, we want it to try and go ahead. So this is looking like it might well happen for us, and it needs to. That battle went right down to the wire. There was like 25 men left, and it looks like Brittany did just get it. Only just. We got more issues popping up. Increase opinion. Suggestion, increase the mayor's opinion of us. I don't think we need to start one. That's a personal scheme, isn't it? Because you can have two schemes running by default. You can have a personal scheme and you can have a hostile scheme. So we're going to try and get him to like us a little bit more. That's our steward, who's currently on -12. So we still don't have a brilliant council. As your marshal's actually gone down one because you've lost an eye. Okay. Gained some prestige, won a siege. Ah, here he comes, look. He's bringing in his army. Again, the chances of us getting out of here on time are probably low. Yep, and we're going to get beaten up again. So even though that army had broken and was running away in this direction, the moment I start sieging something, the army comes straight back to me. He's ignoring all of these units down here. But the way I look at it is, it's giving these armies a chance to get some sieges done. And, you know, I'll save some money because I'm not having to field an army anymore. A king to scare a local mystic with dubious morals and fabricated omen. Perfect. Before the mystic leaves for King Sancho's court, there is but one question. Will my false omen be one of fortune or doom? I believe he is easier to effect with bad news. Will happen. Possible outcomes. He spends many sleepless nights worrying. He gains bad omen for 10 years. Murder scheme will progress. Or he grows more vigilant and the scheme loses progress. He's gained bad omen for 10 years. Murder scheme gains progress. Nice. We can dismiss that defeat because we know it happened. We're going back to South Wales again. Let's have a quick look here. So, yeah, 3 months away on that scheme now. Might be able to get this done by the end of this video. That'll be quite nice, actually. It'll look like we're finishing on something positive. So yeah, we've taken some big hits here. They are now trying to siege Tintagel back, which is a little annoying. Doesn't look like we can gain any more manpower there. Assassin, the time has come. My agents are in place with the very same text that we had on the last one. Let's go ahead and do it. There's only a 5% chance of being discovered, 95% chance of it working. The assassin performs spectacularly. The king is finally dead. Thankfully, my involvement in the crimes remains unknown. I do love surprise visits. Okay, let's pause up because we have some things we have to deal with. So, first of all, we are above we've got a new heir, new culture head, dynasty head changed, all of this good stuff. Okay, so, first of all, Available Dynasty Legacy. You have enough renown to unlock a Dynasty Legacy for your dynasty. This is new. I haven't seen this before. Interesting. Maybe I just didn't have enough renown before. Blood. Careful breeding to produce the most worthy successors. Oh, okay, so it's just give us some traits. So, +2 prowess and 15% knight effectiveness. Popular opinion +5. Dread gain +20. Is that 20%? Yeah. Chance of inheriting good congenital traits and new good congenital traits +30%. Courtier and guest opinion +10 and better guests will be attracted. Marriage acceptance +30 and fertility +10. Interesting. But I think I want to go through Guile because, you know, that's what we are. We probably won't have enough to get all the way down here, but that is done, I believe. Decision available, unite the Spanish thrones. So yes, so now we actually, I've somehow managed to hit the profile change button on my mouse. There we go, that's why it was scrolling slowly. So now we have all of León, and we can unite this all as a single kingdom, which we probably want to try and do so that we don't lose anything. So let's have a look at that. So if we were to do this, we'd gain 750 prestige. We get the Law High Crown Authority. Every Spanish kingdom title you own, except the primary title, will be destroyed, and their territories will become the de jure of our primary title, which is León. So let's unite the thrones. Dawn of a new era. We are now known as the Father of Spain. So now, this should help out because we only have one kingdom title, which is the Kingdom of León. So that actually helps us out because if we were to have multiple heirs and die, there will still be one king. And I think this is the problem that I had in the last game, is it ended up getting split between two heirs when I died. The last problem we'll solve before ending this video is the domain limit. So in Crusader Kings you have a domain limit, which is the number of personal holdings that you're allowed to own. So all of these baronies that you can see with the blue name tags below them are baronies that I own personally, and we want to give these away to other people. There was a little bit of an exploit in Crusader Kings III when it first came out, where you could essentially ignore the domain penalty by just holding as many baronies as possible. It's like the more holdings you owned, yes, you had a penalty, but it wasn't enough to offset the positive of just owning every single barony yourself. Paradox have now changed it, so they're not causing penalties yet because we've only recently acquired them. I think they used to drop the penalty used to be that you would only get 20% of the tax and levy from them. And I think they've now dropped it down to 0, and it really hurts your opinion, so we want to get rid of them. So we're allowed to have 5. 4 of them are in the original territory of León, which are these 4 we want to keep. So we want to get rid of 4 of the others. I'll probably keep Burgos just because it's closer to us. And we can go and have a look and see that the fort level here is 3 with a 464 garrison. This is only a fort level of 2. This is only a fort level of 2. These ones are only fort levels of 2. So this was a former capital. It's more developed. We might as well keep it. It'll pay us more tax. It'll give us a bigger levy. So let's go into these. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to give these to someone else. And ideally we want to give them to somebody who is not necessarily of our lineage, but somebody who is in our court. Because we want to give each one to an individual person, so we're not making anybody that much stronger. I always like trying to give them to people with relatively decent stewardship, because those who have relatively decent stewardship tend to actually spend money and build up those provinces. So we'll grant this to, again, we want somebody else with relatively decent stewardship. And we want to do these two as well, so Santiago. So yeah, stewardship here is looking a little bit wishy-washy across the board. Yours is 8. Not fantastic, but it is what it is. We need to get rid of one more, which will be this one, Montifaro. So we will grant that to... Does anyone else have any form of stewardship at all? You're 68, so probably not a great choice. You've got 10 stewardship. You will do. Okay, there we go. So we now have 5 holdings, which we are allowed to own. And all of the other ones have been given away to other people who are basically now all of our vassals. So all of this is now our territory. We now need to decide what we are going to take next. We do have this alliance with Navarra. We could possibly go and pick on Aragon over here, and probably even into Barcelona. And then from there, we start going down after the Muslims. Although, obviously, this gets a little bit more tricky when you're fighting against a different religious group, because they all tend to band together when you're fighting a religious war. We're also still in this war against England, which hasn't gone particularly well for us, but we will revisit that in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a thumbs up, because it really does help with the way that YouTube promotes videos. And I will see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.